Yeah, hello. I just thought maybe I would revisit the cosmological concept of the creation of everything there is, matter. Of course, matter requires energy. Contrary to popular belief, it requires ordered energy. And any amount of energy requires a greater energy because energy cannot make itself originate itself. It has to come from an infinite potential, basically. And a lot of people, cosmologists and stuff, don't seem to understand that everything has to come from something else. And that something else has to come from something else. So let me just go ahead and read what I also wrote in my description. Everything did not come from no thing. So the idea that everything came from nothing, from an infinitesimal small point, is ludicrous. Because where did that come from? Everything did not come from nothing. And you can't have everything bunched up into a small dot. I mean, it's senseless. It's senseless. What was outside of the dot just doesn't make sense. And not only does it not make sense, it's not supported by the observation. Of course, they think it's the universe expanded had to be in a small dot, but not really, because it's they're thinking inside of the box. They're not thinking outside of the box. So, because there has to be something outside of the small point, and that whatever it is outside of the small point has to be responsible for what is in the small point, because the small point can't originate itself. So, back to the drawing board in cosmology, because everything did not come from no thing. Every physical thing came from everything. So, it's not that everything popped out of a small point, it's that everything came from everything and everywhere. Because that's just how it is that there is infinite, you know, infinite amount of everything. I mean, especially when you're talking about a cause, it has to be an infinite potential, infinite everything, infinite space, infinite time, infinite distance, everything. And in quantum physics, you got this issue of what they call, or Einstein called, spooky action at a distance. It's basically evidence of no time and no distance. But anyway, every physical thing came from everything. It takes all power to have any power because no power comes from itself. It's not complicated. The stars were made along with black holes, dark matter, which is and are the cause of the dilation of time and distance from an infinite measure to a quantifiable quantum measure. So the stars could be seen in the creation week. There's no absolute measure of time or distance in the universe. That means there is no absolute age or size of the universe. Quantities of time itself is a fabrication as well as quantities of distance. So let's go with what the observation is, and only what the observation is. The observation is that matter dilates time and distance. So when you have the creation of matter, that is what quantifies limited time and limited distance, or quantifiable time and quantifiable distance. So time that was no time or infinite time or immediate time was dilated down to a limited measurable time. Same thing with distance. Distance, which is infinite distance or no quantifiable distance, is dilated down to limited time and distance. And it's the amount of matter that does it. It's the creation of matter that dilates time and distance. So instead of saying the universe expanded from a small point, think of what matter does to time and distance. The more matter you have, the slower time runs, the slower the rate of time runs, and the smaller distance is, the more matter you have. So the more creation of matter there is, the more dilation of or slowing down of time and the shrinking of a distance there is. So what we see in the universe is that after the creation of matter, lots and lots of matter in the whole universe, the whole entire universe, all that matter, including what they call dark matter, which is matter they haven't detected yet or can't see, but they can detect the effect of it, that all requires energy. And that is what that matter, that amount of matter, no matter what kind of matter it is, or is what's dilating time and distance, so that even if you leave the solar system or even if you leave the galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, there will still be time and distance. It won't be as slowed down. Maybe it'll be the measure of time would be faster. Maybe the distance will be greater, so that it'll actually take light less time to travel a greater distance. which is another can of worms because it means the speed of light is not constant. Because the speed of light is only constant within a certain frame of reference, a dilated, measurable, quantifiable frame of reference. But then if you have another frame of reference with a different rate of time and a different measure of distance, you're going to have a different speed of light, of course. So the speed of light outside of the galaxy is going to be faster than the speed of light near a black hole. And the speed of light inside of a black hole is so slow that you can't even see the light. Anyway, it was the creation of matter that dilates the time and distance, so that if you leave the galaxy, you're still within time and space. You would still be within dilated time and space, time and distance, because of the rest of the matter and the rest of the entire universe, because they say the reach of the effect of gravity is infinite. How that can be is still, I guess, not known very well, but the reach of the effect of gravity from a black hole is infinite. So either it's from around outside of the singularity, or there is no actual singularity, that it stops before it gets to an actual singularity. But supposedly it collapses into a singularity or something, but you still have different sizes of black holes, so the matter is not actually going somewhere, the matter is actually accumulating. And the more accumulation of matter is, the more gravity dilates time and distance. But you have all these gravitational wells around the universe, be them big or small, that dilate time. So the gravitational wells around the universe are like 3D tent poles, three-dimensional tent poles that are actually stretching time and space, because the time and space is being dragged into a black hole, or the time and space is actually falling into a black hole, so that it's probably what's causing the vacuum and the stretching of space and the redshift from the stretching of space. So the universe didn't have to begin from a single point singularity, because the red shift is a result of the stretching of space, which is from the singularities around the universe that are stretching space like tent poles, three-dimensional tent poles. And so that's probably the reason why the stretching was greater in the past than it is in the present. In other words, the farther back you look into time, quote unquote time, because time is just a fabrication. Time, limited time, quantifiable time, measurable time, didn't exist before the creation of matter. It's the creation of matter that dilates or slows down the rate of time. So, in the creation of the universe, the stretching of space would have been faster than it is today. So that it stretched faster in the past, the farther back in time you look, which is just a fabrication, by the way. It doesn't mean it is actual millions of years, because millions of years is a fabrication. But the farther back you look into time, the greater the stretching was, because that you're getting closer to the time or day of creation, which was a day, because the time in the whole universe was made in the same in one day, or at one time, because all you need is for matter to be made, and for the sun to shine, stars to shine, for the earth to turn, and you have one day, and you have a fabrication of time. But all of time was made in one day, though. And because there is no absolute measure of time in the universe, because if you go near to a black hole, time doesn't pass by, or hardly any time has passed by since the creation of the universe, or since the creation of the black holes, or the singularities. So time has hardly even passed by. So there is no absolute measure of the passing of time in the universe, or a single measure, because the universe is passing by at different rates of time all over the universe. And of course, if you were to go near a black hole or a singularity, you wouldn't notice a change in the rate of time, even though there is a change in the rate of time relative to where we are. So people need to understand what infinite power is. Infinite power is the ability to create a universe in one day. And since light is instantaneous, or light arrives instantly, you could basically make the stars before you made the rest of matter, and the light would be arriving, instantaneously. And it's the creation of the rest of the matter and so-called dark matter that would slow down time and distance to the rate of time that we can exist, or that matter can exist, at least in the rest of the universe, or in our part of the universe, where time and distance can goes by at a rate of time where we can exist, or physical things can exist, and not just light, but actual physical things that exist in a dilated or slowed down rate of time and a measurable distance. Instead of distance being infinite, distance is measurable. Instead of light being instant, light is 186,000 miles in 1 second, because you have a measure of time and you have a measure of distance. So, it's really nonsensical to put an age on the universe when time is a fabrication. And light arriving is not a problem, because light arrives instantly, and after the creation of universe, all the matter in the universe, now we exist in dilated time and distance. But light always arrived instantly. It's just that we exist in a dilated fabrication where we see light take time to arrive. But light still arrives instantly. It's just that we see it take time to arrive because of dilated time and distance where we are at, where we exist. Oh, I got a lot of people talking here. I wasn't even paying attention. I have Honesty Angel. How are you doing? I have NIFB Javier Ramos. And I have Jesus is Lord. And I have Mitchell. Just tuning in. 4 names of legend above. Yeah. Yeah, we have a nice fellowship, I believe. So I'm sorry I wasn't paying attention to everyone in the chat. But I'm glad you can participate, or you could participate. Anyway, but with God, all things are possible because He has all power. And I think it's hard for the scientists to wrap their heads around what's going on. Or, sup, Wildheart? How you doing? So, yeah. And, one of the things that I'm going to start questioning the scientists on is this idea of millions of years. So we've been questioning them on evolution because there's no evidence of any evolution whatsoever, and they need to stop immediately teaching evolution. Of course, it's the press that keeps pushing it, because it's the unbelieving press that wants evolution to happen. The scientists will write an article, they'll write a paper, a scientific paper, and then the press goes and extrapolates, oh, this is proof of aliens, or this is proof of evolution, or it's the press that want to believe nonsense, they want to believe in magic and stuff like that, even more than the scientists. So they're the ones pushing evolution. The presses are the ones pushing evolution. So we need to get the scientists to stop teaching and believing in evolution, and we need to get the scientists to understand that there is no such thing as deep time or millions of years, that time itself is a fabrication. And that because the universe can't come from no matter, the universe has to come from everywhere, not from a single point, but from everywhere and all power. Because God is everywhere and all powerful. And God is the creator of the universe, and the universe is the creation or the result of all power from everywhere. It's not from an infinitesimal point, you know, that exists in who knows what, you know. It's just senseless, this idea of a small point exploding and making everything. It's just nonsense, totally nonsensical. Totally unscientific, too, by the way. All the universe is the result of all power from everywhere, not a single point. Anyway, I'm not going to be able to have a long discussion about it, but if anybody wanted to say something, they could. I got maybe half an hour, but that would be the maximum. I have a link. If somebody wanted to join, but I was rambling on and on and on, and I guess everybody has other things to do and stuff. That's okay too. But I don't want to shut somebody out if they want to say something, because I'm open to suggestions, comments, or you know, criticisms of my idea that everything has to come from everywhere and all power, not a invisible point of nothing. I mean, nothing can't make everything. Everything has to come from all power and, of course, all knowledge, because it takes knowledge to make, 17 essential working parts that are the elements, that are the atoms inside of us, that also make up molecules with different properties. The atoms themselves have their own properties, and the molecules, when they combine, have even different properties. And then, of course, that makes possible the formation of the proteins that also make possible our existence, to contain the instruction to make humans. And we humans no one is better than anyone else. We're all made from the same instruction. And it's what makes a difference in your life is what you believe. Whether or not you believe what's true, whether or not you believe a lie. And of course, you will only be effective in your life if you believe the truth, if and when you believe the truth. Otherwise, you'll be irrelevant believing lies, things that don't exist. Oh, anyways, it's a nice day today. It's Friday the 13th on a full moon. A lot of crazy things happen in politics. A lot of stuff happening. The socialists are becoming irate and paranoid and frantic as they always are. Anyway, because a lot of them should be going to jail, in my opinion. But of course, people make their own rules when they're in politics, and that's the powers that be right now. But if some people don't go to jail, it's never going to end. It's just always going to be the same nonsense, same political scene that we've learned to despise. But anyways, it doesn't have to be that bad. If people go to jail when they're supposed to go to jail, then you'll have order again. You have, reason, you know, things will be worked the way they're supposed to work. But if not, you'll have the chaos. Remember, get smart and the chaos. That's all you have is a chaos whenever people don't go to jail or whatever. They'll just keep on causing chaos. Keeps buffering on my end, JJ. Okay. Well, hopefully that's not my fault here. Let me see. And I don't have any knobs to control here. I just got the duck yard or whatever it is. The barnyard. Stream yard. So anyway, it's a nice day today. Today is tomorrow. Tomorrow will be my weekend. So my schedule changed a little bit. But yeah, I'm planning on questioning deep time now. We've pretty much torn apart evolutionism. Has no evidence whatsoever. And I'm going to target this idea of deep time. Especially the evidence. Where's the evidence on Earth for deep time? You have the candles of that they use of radiometric dating, but that's based on assumptions, and they're not calibrated according to known historical events. We have the known historical event of the flood, and the radiometric dating is not calibrated to that. So all their estimations are all wrong. Happy birthday. Okay. Say happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Oh, that's not me. It's your birthday, honestly. In a couple of days. And it's Messiah's birthday in the springtime, so we're celebrating early. Probably. I'm sure he had a birthday sometime during the year anyway. Probably in the spring. When the shepherds are watching their sheep giving birth. So I have a few more minutes. That's about it. Well, I mean, unless I get into a deep discussion. But yeah, this deep time, this idea of deep time. Time is just a fabrication, and there is no single rate of the passing of time because it's all a fabrication that's the result of the creation of matter. 80th birthday, wow. I'm I'm doing pretty good at I guess I'm doing pretty good. At about 60 something. I ran I ran the other day in the gym. Was supposed to run like 4 miles, but I ate too many cookies and stuff and only ran like 45 minutes instead of a complete hour. Next time I run, I won't eat so many cookies. Maybe I'll do better. But I run and then I do some exercise. I do some gym exercises. It helps my joints, and it's actually helping. I'm actually uh, free of any joint problems as far as being able to walk and stuff. It actually my joints actually healed with my supplements that I take. Uh, it's tart cherry and just regular supplements and uh, and exercise. The Both the supplements seem to help and the exercise, but it's not the joint supplements that you buy in the pharmacy. They have joint supplements that you take for about a week and then your joints will get better, but they never actually heal, or they would not, at least for me, they would never actually heal until I dropped them and started taking tart cherry and some other stuff, other supplements, and they then it started to heal enough to where I could do exercises, and then the exercises helped it to heal even more. Of course, when you do exercises, you'll have different parts of you that break down, and then they get better, and then. But the last time I ran, I didn't have nothing. No part of me was breaking down. I just got tired because I ate too many cookies. But anyway, you have to lose some weight, at least for the joints. You have to lose some weight so you can run. You can run more when you lose weight because the weight will slow you down. At least me, because I was actually, believe it or not, I was like 205 pounds, and I'm like 6'1", but I was 200, and I'm a slim build, but I was 205 pounds, but now I'm like 185. or so pounds, about 185. It's actually a little bit less if I, do a little fast or something. It'll be like 82 pounds. But that was, what is that? That's like 25 pounds I lost. So that I could exercise and, get my joints working. So when the joints start working, then other parts of your legs and stuff start hurting, your ankles and your hips and stuff like that. But then each thing has to get stronger. When one part gets stronger, the other parts have to get stronger too. And of course, that's the idea, is for your hips to be strong, your bones to be strong, and everything to be strong, so that you don't have issues when you get older. So it's very important. And I never did any exercise because I was pretty active. My occupation requires that to be fairly active, but when you get 60 years old, then you got to start doing some exercise to keep up the bone density and of course, cartilage and joints and muscle and everything that goes with it. Because the more muscle mass you have will also increase the bone density, because the muscles pull on the bone and they attach to the bone. So, just all works together. So it's good. You have to keep up the exercise. At least I do like once a week, a couple times a week. I used to, well, when I was trying to get my joints working, I would do it like a couple times a week. Yeah. Yeah, I usually run 4 miles every week, but but I ate too many cookies, so I only ran like 3 miles instead of 4 miles. So, yeah, I ran 3 miles instead of 4 miles, and so that's because I run around the Amazon jungle sometimes, or even the woods in the United States too. So I have to be able to fight off the bears and the cougars. So if I have to. But anyways, that's my concept of cosmology, is that the all the matter came from came from everywhere, and infinite potential from everywhere. Not not a single invisible point, or whatever it's supposed to be. Is the leopard a picture that you personally took? No, this is off the internet. This is an older picture of a jaguar, but I suppose I could take a picture of a jaguar if but I have to go to a zoo or something. Find somebody that has a jaguar. Um, but this is, if you look up a leopard, and you scroll down, you'll probably, not a leopard, a jaguar. If you look up a jaguar and you scroll through, you might find a picture. because it's now they have a bunch of other pictures that usually come up first. But the leopard is like a symbol of the Amazon. It's actually the symbol of the Brazilian army. Uh, the Brazilian army has a. I keep saying leopard. The jaguar. The jaguar is the mascot of the Brazilian army in the Amazon. They call it SIGs, and they had an international incident back in the Olympics. They had their mascot, and the mascot got out of control, and they shot it. It was an international incident. Anyway, it was the Army's mascot. So I kind of adopted it as my mascot, my whatever you call it. Because it's instead of a lion, it's a jaguar. Because I'm from the Amazon, from South America, so that's the lion of the Amazon, I guess. It actually has the strongest bite of any cat. I think it's even stronger than the tiger and the lion because they have to bite the caiman. Anyway, so and they're bigger and stronger than the leopard too, the jaguars. But they're cousins. They're basically the same thing. Genetically, they're compatible because they reached South America before South America broke apart from Africa. But that's another can of worms. It's another one of the ideas floating around. Because the Bible says that the continents broke apart, or the earth was divided 100 years after the global flood in the days of Peleg. And that was also probably what caused the division of the languages too, when the continents divided, because it was at the same time, basically. Boy, this chat here is a little bit, I don't know, it takes a long time. And all of a sudden I get a bunch of messages between the two. It's hard to tell the difference between a leopard and a jaguar, actually. All of a sudden I get all these messages that pop up because this chat on my end is slow because I'm not looking at the broadcast. Anyway, my alarm's going to be going off pretty soon, so I'm going to have to get ready, go to work, make the donuts, whatever. It's time to make the donuts, kind of a thing. But I don't make donuts. I'm a technician. I have a technical job, so I call myself a technician. All right. Well, it's been great. It's been real. Friday the 13th on the full moon, when politics are going crazy. Everybody have a nice weekend, and I'll try to.